I could imagine the solver going directly bigger on that flop. We are not afraid of much here. And we have the 10-4, the Jack-4. We have a 4x advantage. We have more 4x in the polarized, in our polarized strategy here. So I go for the big sizing, which makes, I think, more sense when we are a bit deeper. When we are shorter, this is weird. Very weird. So I think we are live. Back with Russian cash and a 50 again. Let's just jump into the action. Not much talking. Let's play good poker. Here. So our focus again, pre-flop adjustment, and here king check off. Already close versus a tight population here. To be honest, out of position with high rake, I fold like this first adjustment. Normally we in GTO we will see some 4-betting, some calling. Probably in the 50 ranges it will mostly even fold already. With villain having a lot of polarized bluffs. If he doesn't have them, and I think a lot of players miss them here, and not only here, also in higher stakes, it's easy to miss them. If this is the case, we need to fold king check off. Calling would be not great. 4-betting also not. I think here we open. Let's try a bit 2x open today. This works. Still debating for myself if 2.5 or 2x makes more sense. 2.5 has the benefit that we don't get so often post flop. Which is good in a high rake environment. Here we can 3-bet. We have good blockers. I like to 3-bet a bit more often the blocker hands in position. They play quite weak out of position when they call. So I just want to block the 4-bet range, and post flop I'm very comfortable playing in position 3-bet spots. So I would go down with my frequency of 6-5 suited type hands, just because I don't block so great 4-bet range. Yeah, we need to be careful now on the turn. Turn is quite good for him. We should check a bunch of high frequency, I think, on the turn. We need to be very picky, and king check clubs, king check off is just not in there. We have plenty of ace x that we can barrel. Maybe king check with the king of clubs would be okay, but yeah, he needs to start folding 10s, jacks even. I think I can imagine 9s on the turn. So the folding range gets quite unintuitive there. So it's quite hard to find the folds for him, to be honest, in this case. I ask myself always, is it like a difficult spot for him to defend or like call enough, or the opposite? Is it hard to find the folds? That was more the case. Finding like, harder to find the folds there, I think, because his overall range is so strong there on that turn. We mark again the recreationals. Here we go for the 3-bet. Normally I go a bit smaller, but he seems to be a recreational. So I just go bigger again. Normally I go like 18, 19, 5. You don't want to code 4-bet too big. Here we have a recreational. So yeah, like just having the strict rule of just 3-bet or fold, I think is not good. So we have for sure here some calls with recreational in there. Guy seems also the weaker side, I guess. 1/3. Already a sizing tell. Could start racing even directly, but let's wait for the turn. Quite often he tells us what he has on the turn. Let's check the turn and wait for the river check. Don't expect to be good too often. He has 9s, 10s a lot, so I just go for this bet against this region. Okay. I just didn't think that we are good, so I think it's profitable there to bluff region or better 8x, I think. And I was just waiting for the river that I thought he will be more stabbing the ace than on the river. So when he checks then again, I'm more sure that he doesn't have this kind of weak aces, but yeah, sometimes he will still have it. Go for the 3-bet here with 9s with frequency. 10-6 I'll just fold. Not the greatest spot under 4-bet, but 9 should be fine to call. Okay, interesting board. Queen X are quite good for the 4-bet caller. I think could be even some donking going on. The 10 is very good also. The flush getting there is pretty good, so if we can 3-bet sometimes. Let's 3-bet time, and yeah, here I want to. What do we want to do here? It's a bit weird. Ace King I would expect to bet more often than checking. Here we can bet 1/3 full range. This will be around like 25-50%. I'm sorry. I'm totally there I was totally confused because I was with my brain here. 10-5 suited is a 3-bet, not 10-5 offsuit, so don't copy this one. This is no, only because there's a king we continue. And here would make a fold without a hard, bit nitty, but yeah. So yeah, don't copy this 10-5 off. That was a brain fart by me. The 10-5 suited, 10-4 suited is a 3-bet for some frequency, but not 10-5 off. And then I like to 3-bet a bit more often because they're under 4-bet and they don't call enough 3-bets. They're overfold. Although in 50 and L, it could even call too much, to be honest, because in 50 and L they should fold quite a bit. That was 3-bets. They're just missing the 4-bet. 9-6 off. Yeah, close. I think I want to maybe like just folding there. It's better, like to not go too far. I was thinking, okay, we have post flop advantage, but we need to be also considering the rake, so we need to really make up a lot post flop that we make up the rake, the high rake. So just folding there is better, I think. 5 fold. 7, 7, 8. Yeah, I think should not be a range bet for out of position. In position. I think check raising makes sense, to be honest. Pretty aggressively, and ace-9 should be in there then. If he's range betting on a board where he should not range bet, you need to attack this. Not saying that he makes a mistake by that, but against most players, but I want to take advantage of that over c-bet, 3-bet, and here, he pots it, and we block all the, I would rather call 7s, unblocking Jack 9, King 9, so like 9s is really not the greatest. And here we can just bet 1/3 for range. Now on the turn I want to give up for sure this one, because we are blocking pretty heavily the folds. Something like Jack 9 suited, something like King Queen hearts, like the backdoor hearts are here give ups. See what he does on the turn. When he checks quite quickly, we think now we can go for a bet. Get ace queen to fold. The only shitty thing is that ace jack gets there now. I wouldn't expect that he checks back a flush draw. That's why I want to bluff more often. I don't think in equilibrium, like in theory, my hand is always a bet on the river. And probably also like some blocks implementing there when the flush gets there, but just when villain is not checking back enough flush draws on the turn, we can just size up with our value and our bluffs. And we can bluff more then. We can go thinner for value, bluff more. That's like kind of the idea, but yeah, somehow he turned up with King Queen suited, which is good. A good play. For sure he should raise for value. That's the one thing. Here we can open with very tight blinds. Really lose 8-7 off, but plays okay post flop, and yeah, if they are not 3-betting enough, and yeah, we will realize more equity than we should. Much more. Oh, the 8 suit. With the King Queen suited, when he had the flush, maybe, like if I think about it, people don't really bluff in this line. So like if he's going all in there, I think people are overfolding to all in. So probably he should not go all in then. You need to be careful that you don't value cut yourself, so that you don't go too thin for value in spots where people don't find bluffs, or where it's very hard for villain to find bluffs. And you can value cut yourself very fast and very easy. But you just 1/3 for range. I think in theory it goes even half pot and range. So, but I like the 1/3. Bit easier to make mistakes for your villain. Go for the 3-bet here, and you can go here for a thin value bet. Normally that's not a thing to go 1/3 in position, but doesn't matter. You don't play against bot, so just exploitative. Do anything makes sense to us. Here we just bet half pot for range. 1/3 for range also fine. Jack is, yeah, it's okay. Like a decent card. Like, I think it's pretty good for my range. So I expect very high frequency barreling frequency from my side. You can go here 1/3 for range or size up. Normally we should size up in theory. So if I play higher stakes, probably I tend to go here more with a 3/4 or even pot bet and split my range. But here it's fine to 1/3 for range. The 6 is very good for his range. He connects quite well. So we need to be a bit picky now. So let's check back this time. Could be that in theory this is almost always a bet, but yeah, here we need to fold almost always. Let's see, but we roll one call, so let's go. And here we go for the bet on the river. Kind of like also the bet check bet line as a bluff. Very hard to defend correctly. Very interesting that he checks back here, check 9 and 3. Kind of want to make something exploitative here. If he tank holds this, yeah, it's a very profitable bet on the river. And do like this. Focus on. If we see him on the table, we need to be careful that we do the right decision pre-flop. It's hello Husaria. I play now mostly apps, so I coach a lot and play apps. Just makes the most sense to build a role like this. And yeah, like around NL 500 on apps, 400, 500, something like this. Against the min race, we can defend, or we should defend 6-5 off. Probably frequency, like should be a frequency, but I don't roll really. Like I think we can. We have like a post-flop advantage, so we realize more equity than we should. That makes then my frequency defense more leaning more towards pure call. Here against the big sizing, just fold. Here I would make a note. If I play the spoon more active, I would make a note that he bets 3/4 in a spot where it's weird. Weird things are often like very nice tells, like sizing tells, or yeah. Often people have a very big sizing tells. So you make their note that he bets big on that spot, and then you see him next time betting 1/3 on another ace-x export, and you have a clear tell there. Yeah, that's a nice board to donk for me. We have 3-5, we have deuces, 4s, 4 deuce, 6-4, all hands that besides the trips, we have 2-pair and straight advantage clearly. So open racers should check back his entire range. Button should be also very careful, so we can donk out high frequency and deny equity. Like this. I don't want to check, and then it checks through and give them free cards, and we can range bet, like simplified and exploitative. Normally this should not be like range bet when there's a flush draw. Flush draw is always worse than rainbow. Always a bit less frequency bet than rainbow. Because in position has this like flush draws, then a lot of flush draws in his range, and that are high equity draws. Therefore overall equity goes up this range, and that leads us to be more polarized, not just get away than too much betting, but yeah, exploitatively it's fine. And it's also always like, how much are you willing to give up EV to simplify your strategy. Here check 4 is fine to 3-bet sometimes. We have a polarized 3-bet range here. Except I mean, like we have some of this kind of bluffs range, and yeah, we need to find them. Like check 5, check 4, check 6 kind of hands are low frequency 3-bets. Maybe check 4 not so much, like check 6, check 7 more. When he checks back the flop, we want to be quite aggro on the turn. I think just betting like this makes sense. Blocking would be also fine. Maybe like 2 sizings, a bigger one and a smaller one makes sense here. Normally you should, I try to always just use 1 sizing, but this turn step spot seems like a spot where I really feel like having 2 sizings makes a lot of sense. Also because population, like most players are not good in balancing their check back range, and Therefore, they also don't find the raises on the turns, so their range is mostly too weak on the turn. You don't find the raises versus the block or versus like any pet. Therefore, you kinda get away doing whatever you want on the turn if he has a messed up range. And then it's hurting our EV, I think, when we just use one sizing. We don't utilize on the fact that he's not balanced, let's say. Here we call. Flop would be close versus us 1/3 to 3/4. Not really close, just a fold. And here again, making a note would be good. Here we are more polarized. We would use a big sizing or check because we face the small blind, not the big blind. He has a much more condensed range. Much stronger range than a big blind. Big blind has much more like air type hands. So we just play a more polarized strategy with big sizings, and then we split our range. Here, normally multi-way we don't want to bet too much, but this board is totally fine to bet. And my hand, of course, makes sense. We want to kind of build a pot with the ace-high nut flush draw, especially with a recreational there. And now I think we can put a lot of pressure on this guy. Yeah, like we have a... Let's do like this. Not sure. I'm thinking on the other side that he will have some dominated flush draws. So he has 6-7 in spades, Jack 10 in spades, and this or like Queen Jack in spades, and I fold this out by betting very big on the turn. And this I don't really want this to happen, to be honest. But on the other side, I want to put pressure on his range because I have a strong King X advantage. So couldn't figure out that like which factor is more important. In this moment, I would need a bit more time, but I think totally fine there to put pressure on him. Here we check raise, very high frequency. And even this hand should be fine to check raise. 5-7, of course, has the gut shot, but having the good backdoors connectivity should be totally enough exploitatively to check raise. And that's an easy one to miss. Just fold and miss when someone is betting 1/3 for range in a spot where he shouldn't. We need to attack. If you not block this spot, I think 8-5 should be in there. Could be wrong, but yeah, you bet fine or call. If I would see that there's a here's a recreational, so call would be better. I missed this one, so I mark him. Range bet, fine. Third. I think we want to set up a river shove. I think pot size makes sense. This, and then we have around pot size on the river. Makes totally sense. What do we really want to? Yeah, he needs to start folding now. Like we have king queen, blocking ace king and ace queen. I kind of want to have ace king, ace queen blocker more. We block ace queen, yes, but he needs to find now very often the fold with jack, ace 10, ace jack, ace queen. That's a spot where it's quite tricky. Yeah, I will give up this time. Looks a bit weak, but I think yeah, he needs to fold this kind of hands here very often, and I have a lot of bluffs to choose from, so I think I'm totally fine with this. Okay. Here normally we can go for the overbet and split our range. but I would not recommend it too much if you didn't study it too well. And most of the yeah, in this pool you don't need to complicate your life too much. That's a big mistake too. Just interesting check. Pretty weak normally. Here we can start bluffing the 7. Blocking a7. And yeah, I could also attack the half pot. Very weak sizing tell. I like big sizing tell, but fine. I think we need to do something here sometimes, but yeah, not totally sure here. Could be sometimes falling even with the 6-5 blocker and 7x 2 per blocker, and unblocking all the Broadway type bluffs. But not totally sure. Could be just a clear fold, and then it's a pretty bad call. So, yeah, what I was talking. So if I miss something, thought process, like sometimes I just need to skip the hand. Like I don't finish a thought, then just let me know. I will explain it then afterwards. Here we can get away with 10% range, 10 or 20% range bet. But yeah, we have a lot of high flushes that helps us. So normally he has like I think 7-6-3 without monotone would be worse than like this, because without the I think we could turn it into a bluff. And yeah, like he has nutted advantage. Normally on 7-6-3 he has 7-6-6-7 all hands, or 4-5 threes sometimes. A lot of hands that we don't have in our range, or he has more frequent. And if this is the case, and all our broadways miss quite hard, like ace queen offsuit, king queen, jack 10, this we are very broadway heavy, so range betting normally not a thing there. But when it's monotone, I think it helps us quite a bit, because we have a lot of ace high flushes, king high flushes. Wow. Some music is super loud. I don't understand with the Spotify. Okay. We called here. Check raise, check call, both fine. Let me just sit out real fast that I finish this. Here we can donk. The 8 is very, very good for us. So we will have like a smallish donk, 10% fine to 10, 20%. So like just small. And river should be fine to value bet. I think blocking is not enough. We need to bet 3/4 versus this. We can have even some hero calls like ace queen, ace king. Of course we run sometimes into queens, aces, kings, but here's also king jack, queen jack, 10s, 9s, king jack. So I think we played it very well. Okay, let's do like this, because there's too much to explain there in some hands, and to really talk about the thought process. So yeah, here 763 monotone, small blind UTG. We 3-bet, we are a bit deeper, like 120 big blinds. And I think 763 rainbow or like two-tone would be worse than monotone, because the monotone is giving us again like some nuts in our range, so it takes equity from his like 7-6s, 4-5, so we are not totally destroyed always against this region. So we are a bit more protected by having this like strong flushes on that board. But if it's rainbow and two-tone, he has a nutted advantage, pretty strong nutted advantage. It's bad. Monotone boards, normally the solver likes to bet quite small. Not totally sure if it's the case here. So normally also a good rule is monotone boards is like one thing that you don't really care so much about. Just you should have a like kinda understanding, let's say. It's good to have an understanding, but you don't need to like go full study mode and try to remember everything about monotone boards. It's more just about the understanding. Somehow I imagined that he limped. I don't know why. When I'm in explaining mode, I will make some autopilot mistakes. Now I will just fold the under 3-bet. I open bigger even, like I make a weird open size, so this range should be stronger, even stronger than normally. Here we range bet against the limp. Great board for us. Jack 8 could be 3-bet sometimes, and the nice thing is, let's do it. It's very hard for people also to find a bluffs for population. Population is under 3-betting very hard here, so it's very nice to have then a bit more bluffs here in this line. We will get away with bluffing more. For example, here ace 9-5, turn comes a king, and we have jack 8 in diamonds, and we can just triple barrel off with in spots where they just have a very hard time finding them bluffs in my range. Yeah, ace 5 suited. I think it's not always a bet. I cannot imagine that we always bet here. The 9 is not the best turn. And we block like ace queen, ace jack in hearts. So kinda need to give up even river, I think. Sometimes we have here now queen, king queen, queen jack, but we roll 11. So here it's one thing, like one spot where I roll because I don't have clear reads now on that line, specific line run out. So I kinda try to stay with GTO frequencies, what I think the GTO would look like. I just think about ranges, what makes sense. Yeah, I can check raise or check call, both fine. Let's check call. Can always call the turn barrel and snap check on the turn. 6 is quite good now for him. He will have quite a bit of 6x that he plays in this line. Sometimes 3-betting the ace 8 off. Orbit. Open king queen off and 3-bet here that checks. Okay. check the king queen. I don't think we have much reason here to bet. Yeah. I could imagine the solver going directly bigger on that flop. We are not afraid of much here. And we have the 10-4, the Jack-4. We have a 4x advantage. We have more 4x in the polarized, in our polarized strategy here. So I go for the big sizing, which makes, I think, more sense when we are a bit deeper. When we are shorter, this is weird. Very weird. That's very weird. Why you should play like 4 like this? I will go for the call because I see too much spacey 6s. So very weird. Like, looks like very spacey, but open the 10-9. Not really on that board, so I will make discipline folds when I think should fold, and I will go wider when I feel like we face tight opponents. Again, ace 8, sometimes 3-bet, time call, ace 7, ace 6, I start folding, ace 5, ace 4, again 3-bet or call, and then ace 2, ace 3, must be fold, yeah, just folding against 2.5. Here ace 7 off, normally fold, but could be a reason to open. So yeah, we need also to mark this guy. What's this Katsu? I think we need to continue the ace 8 because we have decent vectors. Ace 7 folds, ace 8 continues, and ace 9. Here we 3-bet ace 8 because he makes it 2.7 against 3x already. Queen 8 should be folding and queen 9 3-betting, but when he goes down with the sizing, it should move down to queen 8, the 3-bet. Turn, we check, and river when the flush gets there, queen x. Wait 1 second. Here we need to bluff, and I will bluff with 2x sizing. We have clear now straight advantage. We have good blockers. So fine. Interesting that he finds the top. Bet. I think we need to value bet, but we cannot go super huge. We are quite capped there. We don't have the straight. We don't have the stronger pairs. So he can attack us quite aggro there with check raises. Not saying that they will do it, but just they could. Queen check is sometimes a 4-bet and fold. So yeah, interesting that he finds the check back with the jacks. I think it's a thing, yes, in theory, because we improve quite often to straights and he blocks our continuing range. So if he continues betting, he wants mostly caught by my top pairs and 2 pairs, and he blocks this quite heavy. So a nice check back on the turn. Just unlucky that we run into it. And we have there the ace 8. Oh, my play was totally fine. No, I check 9, I open. It's normally a frequency open, but very low frequency. On the turn, I like starting to bluff. And yeah, I open it because I see like pretty tight players, so go for it. I don't even need to go over bet. 3/4 would be fine. Okay. Fold. Pick. Fold it. Open the fives. Range bet here. Can go even like for the very small bet, like one big blind. Going 1/3 is, to be honest, even a bit too big on most spots. Turn I would continue bluffing with some pockets, like deuces, threes. We don't really have it in MP, so I think bluffing the fives would be fine. I think bluffing the fives is fine. And unblocking the 5x flush draws that fold. So I should have a decent fives combo. So mainly I take the 9x, the better like 6s, 7s, 8s. So on the river I think bluffing would be not great now, because now his range is very heavy, like queen x flushes and ace x. So yeah, just turn I like barreling, and then river I give up. Always keep the I try always to keep the range in my head and to realize when I should be careful, when I should be more aggro and more careful. This depends always. Here called 4-bet, he makes it quite big, so just fold it. If we are 120, 130 big blinds deep, then we can make a call and we can set mine. Yeah, always important to track the range in your head, and then knowing like how, because villain is always in some like, somehow unbalanced, and we just need to figure out how and how to take advantage of it. We can 3-bet, here we squeeze. Not always a squeeze, but works quite well. I think here for going for a pretty small bet. Even checking, we are deep. We cannot just blindly bet everything. We blocked the continuing range by them, like a check X, so I like the check. 7's force is not in my range. If we have 100 big blinds deep, I think we can get away with high frequency bets. And especially multi-way, I think we need to find quite a bit of checks. And we get, like this, we get extra value by like something like king queen with backdoors, that he starts bluffing 10-9, 9-8, type hands, 6-5, yeah. It's interesting why he bets like this. He's not really, is he setting up a river shove 100? Not totally, so it's interesting. Yeah, like somehow it looked like a kind of block on the turn, but yeah, he has queens, so good. We play lost minimum. Everything fine. Yeah, we can check raise quite aggro against the 1/3 full range. We play against a recreational, so let's see. Even against him should be fine, but if he bets pot size, just fold. Again, can squeeze. Normally not always a squeeze, ace check off, but plays quite well as a squeeze, like high frequency squeeze in this pool. Blocking the 4-bet, blocking the calling range. They overfold, they under 4-bet against squeezes, so we can take advantage of that by going up with the frequencies. You just clear fold. Interesting, interesting. This is not a board where we range bet, and 8-7 heavily blocks the continuing range by him. Yes, 6-9, 6-4, yes. All the sets, so we need to check back sometimes here. Let's play it a bit tricky and let's check back. Let's see what happens. It's interesting. Normally we would need to mix it, sometimes bet, sometimes check, but let's play the more interesting line. Of course no call, and that should not be a big sizing on the turn for him. I think more a small sizing. Interesting that he checks now. Don't expect much Yeah, let's don't overcomplicate things. Yeah, I kind of had something in mind, but didn't want to. Was not clear enough, let's say. My idea was there if he's very heavy balanced towards this 10x, you can induce something by like betting small, and then he can check raise, thinking he can bluff there, but having like almost no value. But he can have there some flushes there on the river that he checks. The thing is, there was a timing tell that I found it interesting. Here we can just jam, I think, the king high, 20 big blinds, play some MTT style. We don't want to really isolate, and yeah, you called then a lot. We have king 5 off post flop, which is not great, but we have I think we get enough folds there by all in. Interesting. We bet 1/3 for range, and it's out. Let's just give it up. Yes, hard for him to find his bluffs. So yeah, the idea was just to induce a bluff, but there's plenty of 10x, but yeah. And snap check on the river. If he would have a flush on the river, if he rivers a flush, he would think about what is the best play, not snap check probably. So like the snap decisions are often like big tells. I want to go more in future videos. I will go more into this, like really focusing on this timing tell. I think they're very, very valuable, but very easy to miss playing the autopilot. Sometimes your intuition catch up on this. Sometimes you just have a feeling that something is off, or that's often your intuition catching up on some sizing or timing tells. Very interesting. So often you should trust your intuition there. You can just bet small here on the turn, very, very loose. You should find some raises, bluff raises with king highs, ace highs. I think this is not happening, and yeah, not sure what happened. Here. Now we can go. Anyway, he's not calling ace high, so I go big versus over pairs type hands, and versus like 8x. I don't think he calls here often with queen 10 easy fold in this rake environment, and a bit tighter 3-bet ranges. Sometimes 4-betting, I think, or rather queen check, I think, than queen 10. Open. both here. So like 10-6 suited, 10-7 suited. We start calling, I think. As soon we can make the straight. More open races. They go bigger, we need to adjust again. Going like with 10-7, 10-8 suited. Yeah, again, Queen 8 can 3-bet sometimes, but I'm a bit worried about this like very low VPIP, so could be just a way too strong open raise range, and then don't want to 3-bet. So you need to, like, that's why I like always adjusting to my opponent, is to not blindly do something all the time. Out. We checks back the King X export. I would check one more time. Normally Air is very happy to bet this kind of board, so he's very normally the players on this kind of boards, when they check back, they are very heavy on like medium strength hands, like King 10, King 9 type hands, jacks, 10s, queens, and I don't really want to go ahead and try to bluff this kind of range where there's not much air and just too much medium strength hands. I would need to go with huge sizings and a lot of aggression, and then I don't know him, so maybe it's a big station. And Queen 8 would never be a bet. It would be very exploitative if I would start to bet there. Of course, can just hold there with no big reason to open. Do like 1 or 2 more hands, and then I will finish for the few more hands. 9 big blinds here. Just for the check 9 suited. Versus button, we can 3-bet. 7s. Yeah, I missed, I think, the 9-8 open. I should open with the recreational, big recreational, and the break blind, so I missed there a spot. Yeah, normally we said we want to play the one like 2x strategy for today. So yeah, let's finish up. See if we have more hands. Let's play this ace jack, ace 10, and then that's it for today. Yeah. I like his sizing. Like this, if he goes bigger, I can start folding this kind of hand. If he goes so smallish, then I'm kind of forced to get in there. And he has a very strong range, so. But yeah, that's it. Okay. Position, fold. He goes a bit too big, I would say. Like going like 1/4, I think is better. So yeah. So, that's it for today. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoy, and just give me keep giving me feedback that I can adjust content. I will keep putting out videos and content for you guys. So thanks for watching, good luck on the tables, and you bye bye.